Hello, and welcome to your NARSA weekly update for the week commencing Monday, the 20th of April, 2026. It's Gary here again. Thank you very, very much, as always, for taking the time to join me. Do you know what? This has been an eerily quiet week, hasn't it? Like even although they went away to Spain last week, and there was a couple of wee bits and pieces that came out, it was kind of low key. There wasn't a lot going on, and that's probably a good thing, where there's not any sort of distracting material that's coming out. There's not a whole bunch of things. It was like a genuine break. And while I really wasn't looking forward to that because we just had the international break not long before it, it's actually all right to be able to have that every now and again, especially with the 5 games that we've got going, we've got coming up, I should say, that we've got a situation to breathe, a wee situation to recoup, and then an opportunity to really give it everything we've got for these last 5 games, and then we'll see where that takes us. It's one of these things for me. I was actually, with that time, it's an opportunity to just kind of, what would you say, digest different types and styles of content, because if we're not digesting Rangers content, and not saying there was none of it, but it wasn't quite as prevalent as it is when the games are on. I saw this quote. I'm part of this weekly newsletter from a guy called James Clear, an author who wrote a book called Atomic Habits. Anyway, there was a quote in there. He does this 3-2-1, 3 quotes from me, 2 quotes from others, 1 question newsletter each week. I quite enjoy it. It's on a Thursday. Anyway, so one of the things that came out from that was a quote from an author, from a football coach, an American football coach called Bill Walsh, and it's from a book called The Score Takes Care of Itself. And here's exactly what it says. Champions behave like champions before they're champions. They have a winning standard of performance before they are winners. And that really, really resonated with me, because the way that we've been conducting ourselves since pretty much the start of the year here, with a wee bit of a decent patch in kind of November, December, when we made a kind of poor result against Hearts, and then we've been really solid since then, a couple of draws and such, which put us on a downer, but for the most part it's been really, really good. And then just the way that we're behaving, and the way that Danny Rule is conducting himself, and the type and style of interviews that he's given, and the calm demeanour that he has, and by all accounts that's what he exudes behind the scenes as well. And then just the, what would you say, the vibe that's coming off the players from the post-match interviews and sometimes the pre-match interviews as well. It's got that, there's something a wee bit different about it. Yes, not everyone in that squad has won anything, certainly not won anything with the Rangers. And it's one of these things with, like, when you get to the real genuine business end of the season, which is where we're at right now, you don't know how they're going to act or react, but it's the same for Hearts, and it's the same for maybe some of the squad over in the East End, just in terms of, like, can we actually do it? Because we've been rotten this year. So we'll see what that looks like. But are we behaving like champions right now? Are we going about our business like champions right now? Are we conducting ourselves like champions right now? It kind of feels like we are. So obviously we need to get over this potential hangover of what might happen after that break there. But they came back early enough. I believe they were back on Friday past there, and we don't play, of course, till Sunday. So it's one of these things where I don't know, it resonated, and it gave me pause for thought, and I really genuinely believe that there might be something to this, the opportunity to go away and get your mindset right, and rest and recoup, and really start to talk about what the possibilities look like for each of the games, a wee bit of prior preparation. Yes, we're taking it one game at a time, but start to hypothesize as to what that looks like as we go forward. So just a wee tidbit to start off. It's a bit of a light show this week, so that's something, just a wee bit of pause for thought there. In terms of the game segment, of course, no games this past week for us, as it was Scottish Cup semi-final weekend, and we know now that the Scottish Cup final is going to be, what would you say now, diet that mob versus full-blown that mob, because you've got Neil Lemon, who is now manager of Dunfermline, and they are going to play that team from the East End of Glasgow. So it's one of these interesting things. 2-0 up, they get pegged back to 2-2 by St Mirren, and then I didn't follow any of it actually, but I when it's 6-2 in extra time, you have to imagine that they started the first period, or the first half of extra time, and St Mirren didn't bother showing up. I guess something like that. I mean, how do you lose 4 goals in the space of half an hour when you've only conceded 2 in the space of 90 minutes? That's kind of bizarre, beyond bizarre. But I did hear a kind of funny yesterday that they are now in the final, which they're in the final, we're not. So that's the thing. And only once did they win one of their knockout matches in 90 minutes. Then it was against Auchterlonie Talbot. So, it's just, you can look at it on a positive spin from their angle. They're finding a way to win and all that sort of thing. How ironic would it be if Neil Lemon was to deprive them of Scottish Cup glory on the final day of the season after we've already won the league? Just before it, there would be mutiny. The Sharks would be back out in full force. None of our business, of course, but kind of interesting. And there's probably a bit of a story to tell in there, just in terms of former manager versus former manager and now current manager, twice removed from this season or twice installed for this season. You couldn't make it up, could you? In terms of our next games, of course, we now are back in action on Sunday, which is actually a wee bit of a bonus for me, because just yesterday, Leo had a rugby practice and then he came home and says, I've got a tournament next weekend. And I said, what do you mean the tournament? What day is it? Saturday? And for some reason, I had in my head that Saturday was when we were playing Motherwell. But then I remembered complaining, this is after the fact, I remembered complaining after the fact that we don't play until either the exact same time or after that mob from the East End for the remaining 5 games. So I'm kind of like, oh, right, what time is the first game? Oh, let me check. Looks like 9 a.m. Our game kicks off at 8. I says, okay, no, that's absolutely fine. I will go get the pub set up and then I'll come straight to your games. I would never miss a game of his if I am in town. And I am, of course, in town. So that was the way it was. And then later on, I was like, wait a minute, we're actually playing on Sunday. So I get the best of both worlds. On the weekend, I get to see Leo in his rugby tournament. He's got 3 games on Saturday. And then I get to go and see the famous on Sunday, unencumbered by any other family duties. And I obviously love going to see Leo. I'm not lamenting the fact I would miss the game. It's just an exciting time of the season. And I would want to try and do both, kind of getting a bit greedy. Then, of course, we are... Oh, here's the thing. So I don't know if I mentioned this before or not last week, but the game on the 4th of May, I was supposed to be travelling that day. I think I did mention that. I was going to go to the airport early. That trip got cancelled. Yeah, it did. It got cancelled. So postponed, I guess. It's going to be at some point later on. Actually, probably maybe June. So I don't have to worry about that. I can get to see the full game and really get to immerse myself in it. It's already in my calendar, so I don't get to miss that as well. So anyone who prayed for me, thank you. Your prayers worked. In terms of shout-outs, again, kind of late for this week, but one big thing that we had last week was that Manny Fernandez did make the SPFL Team of the Year. I was going to say Player of the Year. Team of the Year, and really, really interesting Team of the Year. If someone had said, I don't know, I mean, I would imagine you get to bet on this sort of thing. I'm not a gambler, but I know you can bet on pretty much anything these days. But if someone had said at the beginning of the season, see come mid to late April, you're going to see the Team of the Year, and the Team of the Year is going to have 5 Motherwell players in it, 4 Hearts players in it, 1 Rangers player in it, and 1 That Mob team player in it, that you would have been like, whoa, what sort of crack are you smoking, man? That's a difficult thing to conceptualise. That's what happened. And you know what? It's difficult to kind of try and look elsewhere, because there hasn't been that many standouts like there has been for the supposed smaller teams. Of course, Motherwell are having a wee bit of a... they were challenging about a month ago, and they're kind of not now, but they're certainly going to have an impact on what happens between now and the end of the season. And then you've got Hearts, who are in a really good position in the league, and then you've got ourselves and then that other mob. So we'll see what that looks like. But Manny said, I am delighted to be included in the PFA Scotland Team of the Year. Oh, sorry, I said SPFL, PFA, I guess it is. The PFA Scotland Team of the Year, and it means a lot to me. I have enjoyed my debut season with Rangers, and it has gone better than I ever dreamed it could. I would like to thank the gaffer and his coaching staff for believing and trusting in me, my teammates for all their support, as well as our amazing fans who have backed me since I joined the club. I mentioned this maybe last week, certainly in the last wee while. His I was going to say resurgence, his surgence into the team, if that's the right type of style of English to use, has been absolutely incredible. When he first came in, you're kind of like, what? And I did that interview with a lassie who's a Peterborough fan, and she was kind of like, we can't believe we got $3+ million for that guy. That's amazing. Thank you very much for everything. And now we are going to, quadruple that, quintuple that if we decided to cash in on him, which I hope we don't do. We've got a full-blown international now, and he's enjoying his football, and he gives us something that we haven't had in central defence for quite some time. And I remember I used to lament, Connor Goldson was a solid rock for us for years and years, but I used to lament when he would go up for corners and just blast it over the bar or blast it by the post or something like that. And I remember saying on this podcast, what's the point of him even going up there? Like, he scores one in a blue moon, if even that, and maybe his goals record might actually prove me wrong on that. That's just what it felt like in the moment. Every time Manny goes up, it feels like something's going to happen. And if it feels like something's going to happen from my perspective, it probably feels like that from his perspective, from the Rangers fans' perspective, and from the opposing team's perspective as well. So we've got a double threat there. We've got attack and defence from the one player. So very, very well done. Very, very well deserved. And keep the performances coming. 5 more wins, Manny. That is all we need. This is a wee bit of a belated birthday wish for, I was going to say long-term listener. I think he's maybe listened one time in the 270. This is the 275th episode today. 275 times I have brought this into your eyes and ears. And so congratulations to us, I guess, for persevering for that amount of time. But this one is for Davy Wilson from back home, who was 50 last week. Actually, I think his birthday was on Monday, and I didn't even know about it. There was a WhatsApp group message that we have after the fact that they had said happy birthday, and I was like, dear, I missed it. So I'll mention it next week. And it's poignant because Davy's a great guy, but also Davy is the son of Rangers legend Davy Wilson as well. So Davy and I kept in touch, at the passing of his dad, because it was fairly close to the passing of my dad as well. And I hope that I helped him, and he certainly helped me during those times when you're just trying to kind of understand what happened and trying to find out what life looks like, now that you don't have that constant in your life anymore. So very, very belated happy birthday to you, Davy. I hope you had a great time there, my friend. And just another wee shout out for Tommy Brotherston. He has a signed Maurice Edu shirt. If anyone here from a NARSA club is interested in procuring that shirt, Tommy is giving it away. He's doing a wee bit of a purge of some of his Rangers memorabilia, and he wants it to go to a good home. So if you have any affiliation there, I think I'll mention it one more time next week, and then I'll maybe just park it. I haven't heard from anyone, but if you have an interest in that, please do let me know. rangersSCC@hotmail.com. That's 2 S's and 2 C's, and I will connect you with Tommy and hopefully get that organised. I'm not going to mention, well, I am kind of going to mention the Amanda and Jason Jr. Ross's London Marathon. I haven't heard anything from them. The London Marathon, my understanding is, was yesterday. So, oh no, it's this week, isn't it? It's this week. It's this week coming. So this is the last week I'm mentioning it. Sorry, I actually deleted it from my notes. Oh wow, come on, Gary. This is what happens when things are a wee bit quieter. I end up acting a wee bit squirrely. So that's coming up this week, and then I'll hear from them next week. Yes, on the 26th. That's right. So good luck to them this week. That's exactly what I meant to say anyway. So good luck to Amanda and Jason Jr. Ross, who are running, of course, on behalf of the Royal British Legion. And we'll leave the link there one last time, and you have a chance to sponsor them prior to Sunday, and then we'll hear from them next week. That's it. Right, Gary. Now you're back on track. Well done. Oh, I'm so good at this, aren't I? So in terms of the NARSA 2026, Destination NARSA, or the NARSA Convention, call it what you want. And that's coming up in 51 days' time. 51 days and 7 weeks until we get down there. Of course, that's June 11th to the 14th. A real World Cup theme going on for us there. Of course, the day one of the event is the opening day of the World Cup. We will have the opening day, we will have the USA game, we will have the Canada game, and we will have, most importantly, the Scotland game, all being shown in and around the events. I know I've been promising an itinerary of events. We have literally locked it down just before I started recording. Myself and Brian and Alan were chatting there just to solidify what that looks like. We're going to put it over to Colin Bowman, who does all of our artwork, to do a great job of making it look wonderfully beautiful and pretty. And then it's definitely going to be published this week. It's now solidified. We have everything that we need in there. So yeah, as I mentioned last week, this is, in case there was any confusion whatsoever that this is only for NARSA members or because it's a smaller event, there is some sort of exclusivity to it. That's not the case, not at all. This is the same for everyone worldwide. We would absolutely love to see you down in Nashville, and it's a brilliant town. It's going to be a lot of fun. The Cambria Hotel is going to be absolutely brilliant for us. We've got a lot of really cool stuff planned and a lot of things that you might not see at some of the larger events, and it's certainly going to be very, very intimate. So you'll have an opportunity to liaise with the 9 in a row legends at a more intimate scale. And that, of course, is David Robertson, Derek Ferguson, Mark Walters, and Scott Nisbet, who will be accompanied from an entertainment perspective with our MC, David Edgar, from the Heart and Hand podcast, DJ Angry Bear, Colin Bowman from the Orlando Rangers Supporters Club, Stuart Hay from the Journey Back, Rebecca Auchterlonie, who's going to be regaling us with some Ranger songs, with some country songs, with whatever other songs that we ask her to do. She's also going to be doing the national anthems prior to the Walter Smith Memorial Grand Banquet as well. And then one of the real highlights, certainly for me, everything else is a highlight, but one of the real highlights is that we're going to have Rangers historian David Mason doing the story of Rangers, and we're actually going to do that on a couple of occasions, so that if you can't make one of the events, you can make one of the other ones as well, and hopefully get an opportunity. I think I'm actually going to go to both, to be perfectly honest, because I might miss some stuff the first time and then catch it again the second time. I really want to immerse myself in that. And of course, we do have Rangers Executive Director Fraser Thornton coming along, and our new CEO, Jim Gillespie, coming along too. So that's going to be great from the club. I'm still hopeful that we're going to get Andrew Kavanagh to come along. He's visited the Big Apple Bears. He's visited the Philly Loyal. I think I was just getting the sentence too quick there in my head. So he's visited both of those clubs, and it would be great if he could come down and join us in Nashville as well. Maybe that might be a last minute decision from him. I'm not 100% sure. So in terms of the golf, the Davy Cooper Memorial Top Golf, I've been talking about this for a wee while, and I think what my experience has been with golf is a lot of people seem to want to try and book it a wee bit later, or sometimes kind of forget till they're actually at the event. We're under a wee bit of a time crunch now, folks, where we need to know if you're planning on doing the Top Golf, which is on the Friday morning. We need you to get your tickets booked as quickly as possible. We have a 25-person minimum that we had committed to, kind of loosely committed to, not through contract, where we had said this is what we're looking at, and we would love to meet that. And right now we are sitting at 13. So there's 12 spots left to get us to the point where we can actually host the event. We really, really want to do that. We don't want to just bin it. We're most likely not going to be proceeding with the football for this year because the numbers are so low that it would be really difficult to try and concoct together two groups of 11 players. And, maybe once things are organised, we could look at 5-a-sides, but we tried that in the beginning, so maybe not. But from a Davy Cooper Memorial Golf perspective, it's for everyone and anyone. It's not serious golf. It's an opportunity to just have some fun, to liaise with some of the VIPs, have a good time there, and really, really enjoy ourselves. So if you are planning to book it, please book it within the next 7 days. Please book it within the next 7 days so that we can hit that minimum, and then we know we're in good shape, and then we can take it from there. If you show up at the event and say, who do I pay for my golf? The answer at that point will be, I'm sorry, we had to cancel the golf. So if you know of anyone else that's already coming, that's planning to participate in the Top Golf, could you please pass this message on to them that they need to book it this week? You go to the NARSA website, you'll be able to navigate straight to the ticket site and then get those booked. $100 each. That gets you your Top Golf, it gets you your transportation to and from, it gets you your snack food and any soft drinks that's there. The alcohol will be served, but that's extra over and above. You would just pay for that on your own. So please get it booked this week, and then we will know what the numbers are truly looking like, and then we'll take it from there. We don't want to cancel this, so if you're planning on doing it, please do it. And it's not for golfers exclusively. If you don't even play any golf, go, we'll have a great time. You get a chance to swing a couple of golf bats and hit a couple of golf balls and see what that looks like. All right. So don't say you weren't warned, that we really don't want to cancel this. I really want to go do it. I've never done Top Golf before. We have a kind of semi-similar thing here. I can't even remember. Launchpad it's called in Calgary, which we did for my niece Chloe's 21st birthday. A lot of fun. a lot of fun. You get a chance to mingle, and you can talk when people are doing, there's music on and things like that. So it's not the super serious stuffy stuff that goes with golf as well. So yep, it's for everyone. Get your golf booked, have a great time, and we'll hopefully get a chance to see you there. Just another reminder from a NARSA business perspective that we are hosting the AGM the week before the event this year, so that we don't have any serious heavy admin to do when we're down in Nashville, and hopefully that's going to work out. So if you're a NARSA member club, you're going to see some documentation coming out in the next few weeks in terms of the agenda, the financial reports, the minutes from last year and such like that. We did have a meeting this last Wednesday where once again Alan McWatt promised me that he was going to finish within an hour, and he gave it a good go. And I think he only blew it by about 8 minutes. So he's like 0 for 15 now or something like that. He even extended the last one to say, right, we're actually going to finish on time because I've added half an hour on. Still blew that time as well. So I think he needs a coach. I think he needs a time management coach. I wonder if anybody knows a good coach out there. And, GaryGillen.com for all your coaching needs, folks. Don't ever forget. Actually, that's a good reminder. We are in advanced stages with one particular sponsor and maybe two where we're going to get a sponsor for this podcast, and you'll start to hear me say, welcome to the NARSA Weekly Update, brought to you by our friends and partners at, and then I will talk about the actual company there. I do know who it is. I don't know that we've actually signed a contract. I'm not going to mention anything until we've signed the contract and the monies have exchanged hands there, just in case. But what we're trying to do is just get a wee bit more commercial with that, not to be a distraction or anything like that, but it takes a wee bit of money to produce this on a weekly basis for you. And if we could have those costs covered by someone else, then that would be great. Then it's only my time that's been taken, and I'm delighted to do that for you. As I said, 275 times up to and including today, not including the interviews that we did. So we're probably creeping up on 300 in total. Anyway, so in terms of the communication section, I'm recording a wee bit earlier today because I'm actually flying to Toronto. Today I'm actually flying to Toronto here in a few hours. Right now it's 9:04 a.m. I'm leaving the house at 11. I have some work meetings to do. I have my workout to do before I go, and then final packing, and then get myself out the door. I'm going to Toronto for a couple of days for a consulting gig that I have right now with a company out there. And I was actually thinking this morning, I literally cannot remember the last business trip that I had. It wasn't a conference or something like that. So I'm going to have to, this will be a social media post for my business here, but it's well over 10 years. Well over 10 years. So it's a wee bit, I'm going to forget something when I pack it. I'm going to get there and not have a charger or a mouse or something like that's going to happen. But I'm there for full day sessions, and so I'm doing a wee bit of development. I'm doing a wee bit of support. I have some crucial meetings. I have some coaching sessions as well when I'm out there. So it's going to be a very, very quick flying visit back on Wednesday night and then into the rest of the week. So that's a kind of fun thing. But the reason I tell you that is that the Jers Guide was not published. They seem to publish the Jers Guide towards the end of the business day back home time. So I don't get access to that because right now it's just after 4 back home. So in terms of the Jers Guide, I would imagine there's not a whole hell of a lot going on today. Tomorrow will be the loan review, and then we'll see what that looks like. Friday will most likely be the press conference for the Motherwell game. I would be very surprised if it wasn't. And there might be some other cool, fun, funky things that are going on. And there, the women's team, actually, do you know what? There'll probably be a preview of the women's game at some point this midweek. They're back from international action. There was a change in the timeline and the venue actually for Friday's game. It was supposed to be at Ibrox, like a 7 o'clock kickoff, something like that, wasn't it? I can't remember exactly what it was, but that was changed now. It's going to be at Broadwood, and it's going to be a 4:30 p.m. kickoff time back home on Friday. Odd timing, but I guess they think that's the best for that. But that's the top of the table clash. We are 1 point and 1 goal behind Hearts. We win that game, we go top of the league with 4 games to go. It's the same situation for the men's team, isn't it? So we're in good shape, and it might not be exactly 4 games to go. So forgive me if I miss a game by 1 or 2. But this is a massive week for both the men's and the women's team. Just win the Rangers. That's the absolute key there. Just another quick reminder of Greg Mitchell from the Big Apple Bears' new website called rangerspubs.com, and that's the kind of replacing the blue nose bars that used to be in effect. If you're going anywhere, travelling anywhere, you can get Rangers friendly bars or sports bars that would be inclined to show Rangers games, and that would be all over the globe as well. I've done a really good job with that site, and it's kind of handy. If I had a wee bit more time when Rangers were playing, I would have looked at the closest to my hotel. I know there's a couple, I don't know my geography in downtown. I'm actually literally downtown in Toronto, but we're not playing, so I'm busy on Tuesday night. Well, tonight I arrive in late, and then Tuesday night we're going for some drinks, and then Wednesday I am headed back to Calgary. So another wee reminder that if you haven't already, please do follow us on TikTok and Instagram, NARSA Comms, NARSA on both platforms. And of course, if you haven't already subscribed, please to us here on YouTube as well, and that's NARSA Communications, I believe, on YouTube. All right, my friends, that's a wee bit of a shorter one today, of course, since we don't have any match action to talk about, but that will not be the case this time next week, and I'm really looking forward to coming to you with a beaming smile and maybe even a sponsor to add to that, and an opportunity to see we're top of the league, and let's just stay there for the remainder of the next 4 weeks or so that we have that trophy, and then that trophy makes its way over to Nashville. That is the plan, and that is the target. Okay, my friends, thank you very, very much as always for taking the time to join me today. Please do share it with someone that you think might enjoy it, someone who's starved of a wee bit of Rangers action or Rangers content for this week. I know that we all kinda are, and until next week, all the very, very best. This is the biggest 4 weeks that we've had in years and years and years and years, and we need to start off with a bang on Sunday. Just win, as I said, Rangers, and then give us something to look forward to for the remaining 4 games. Until next week, please do take care of yourself and all the very best, okay? Follow.